Hello and welcome. Today we are going to discuss about the part 3 of most important topic of geomorphology for NT-UGC-NET and all sets exams, that is evolution of geomorphological thoughts. I have already made two videos about the introductions of geomorphological thoughts, ancient periods, dark age, age of catastrophism, age of uniformitarianism. Today we will discussed about modern age. Modern age also divided into two parts, that is modern age 19th century and modern age 20th century. During the 19th century, geomorphology became an independent discipline and a major branch of geology. And also development of geomorphic thoughts took place at a regional level, and we can identify two distinct schools, example the European school and the American school. Let us first see about the European school. European school contributes in the field of recognitions and identifications of Pleistocene ice age and the glacial erosions, marine erosion, fluvial process, and erosion, arid and karst landscape. Sir Charles Lyell, his time period was 1797 to 1873 AD. He was not only endorsed the concept of uniformitarianism, but also popularized the concept through his book, that is, The Principles of Geology. His contributions in the biology became the base of Origin of Species, which was put forth by Charles Darwin. His book, The Geological Evidence of Antiquity of Man, was published in 1863. Louis Agassiz, his time period was 1807 to 1873 AD. He was credited for the identifications and recognitions of the presence of ice age during the Pleistocene period. His idea was presented in 1840, but there are other scholars also presented their ideas even before the Louis Agassiz. Example, Bennett of Switzerland 1821, 1829, Norwegian scholars Esmark in 1824, German Bernhard in 1832, Jean de Charpentier in 1834, then Louis Agassiz. Jean de Charpentier postulated his concept continental glaciers and ice age in 1841. James Dickey, he was a Scottish geologist and studied different aspects of ice age and published his idea through his book The Great Ice in 1894. Penck and Breckner observed four Pleistocene ice age, that is Gunz, Mindels, Rist, and Worm, which were separated by three warm interglacial periods. Please remember these terms because this ice age, because UGC already asks in exams. Sir Andrew Ramsay, his time period was 1814 to 1891. He presented detailed descriptions of marine platform made by marine erosion in Wales and southwest England. Previously, he attached more significance to marine abbreviation, but later part of his life, he gave more importance to fluvial erosion. Baron Ferdinand von Richthofen, his time period was 1833 to 1905. made significant contributions in the field of marine erosion during his visit to China. C.G. Greenwood. He was a British geologist. His contributions in the field of subaerial erosions. He is considered to be first geoscientist to postulate the concept of base level erosion even before the major fall in USA. Dukes in 1862. He divided river into two categories, that is, transverse streams and longitudinal streams. Transverse streams are those streams which flow through the geological structures, and longitudinal streams which follow the directions of strikes of rock beds and flow parallel to geological structure. American School. Last two decades of 20th century, that is from 1875 to 1920, considered as the golden age of geomorphology, not only in America but also world geomorphology, because during this period, first time general theory of landscape development was propounded by W.M. Davis. Major Fowell, Major J.W. Fowell, his time period was 1834 to 1902 AD. He was a Major American Army. After thorough study of Colorado Plateau and Winter Mountain, he suggested geological structure as the basis for the classifications of landform. He attempted a genetic classifications of river valley. Consequently, he classified them into antecedent, superimposed, consequent valley, etc. He postulations of limit of maximum vertical erosions. It means valley deepening or downcutting by streams. He proposed term base level, which determined by the sea level. Later on, C.A.M. Mellott in 1928 inferred three terms from base level. His book through his writing ultimate, local and temporary base level. He also found that fluvial processes were allowed to erode. The landmass might be eroded down to level plain, which may be slightly above the sea level. And this erosional plain, later termed as peneplain by W.M. Davis. G.K. Gilbert, his time period was 1843 to 1918 AD. He was considered as the first geomorphologist of America because of his contributions in the systematic and quantitative geomorphology. According to C.A.M. King, 1966, he stresses more importance of creative imagination, testing of number of hypotheses, and analogies in the field of geomorphology. He never prepared to be called himself as theoretician, rather took himself as an investigator. After thorough study of different localities of America, example, the Great Basins, Beneval Lake, Artesian Wells of the Great Plains, Henry Mountain, and Sierra Mountains, etc., he propounded number of law, that is, uniform of law of slope, law of structure, law of divides, law of increasing acclivity, law of tendency to equality of action, dynamic equilibrium, law of interdependence. He was the first geoscientist to propound the concept of graded profile of river valley and to establish relationships among the load, volume, and velocity and the channel gradients on the basis of quantitative analysis. C.F. Dutton, his time period was 1843 to 1912 AD. He was first scientist to use the term isostasy to denote equilibrium conditions of the upstanding and downstanding landmasses of the Earth's surface. During his study and investigation of Colorado Plateau and Grand Canyon of the Colorado River, he opined that the present canyon was the result of long continued periods of the fluvial erosions, to which he assigned the term of the periods of great denudation. He also presented evidence in support of Fauvel's concept of base-level erosion. W. M. Davis, his time period was 1850 to 1934. He was a professor of physical geography at Harvard University. He is considered to be a patron of science of geomorphology because of his significant contributions in different fields of geomorphology and for giving new direction to landform study. His contribution so significant and was so dominant among the American geomorphologists that the American School of Geomorphology was recognized as Davidian School of Geomorphology. David is credited for the first postulation of first general theory of landscape development. A synthesis of his three major concepts: complete cycle of river life 1889, geographic cycle 1899, and slope evolution. He emphasized progressive development of erosional stream valley through the concept of complete cycle of river life and sequential changes of landform through time involving historical evolutions of landform. It means he postulated the concept of time-dependent series of landform or cyclic development of landform.